realizing that she was at risk for stroke, she went ahead and she said, okay, what do I need to do to kind of get this together? She got her personal trainer. Her family came in and worked out with her to support her, and that is so important to have people that will support you. Now, if you do not have that, unfortunately, you can still do it on your own. But you know, it's much easier when you have other people that you can work with. Now, another show, I tend to try to keep up with some of the stuff because I know that some people have questions and they look at different shows and they want their hair a certain way, and I would like to know what you're talking about. So totally T-Boz, the same thing. She had her health struggles and she had to change her diet. So the main thing that we're seeing here now, even though they're not advocating natural health care, it is kind of somewhat in there, even though they're not saying, hey, I stopped eating such and such and now I'm doing this, and I feel a whole lot better. They're just kind of documenting their day to day and their music careers. So, but this is a part of it. Health is a big component, whether you are a singer, whether you're an actor, whether you are going to your 9 to 5, insurance, auto, whatever. I mean, we all have to stay healthy. So, the main thing behind doing the detox is not to lose weight. I can't stress that enough because sometimes people like to try things that just to lose weight. It's not about losing weight, okay? I can't say it enough again because you have to be healthy. That's the first thing. And everybody is not healthy at a smaller size because that's not who they are naturally, if that makes any sense. Just like some people at a bigger size are not at their healthiest because that's not how they are naturally. But a lot of it has to do with culture. So the thing that we have to do is to balance out what is naturally us. What is something that I can do that I know that is good for me, that my doctor is saying, okay, yes, this is something that you can do, and this is your natural weight or what you should be doing for yourself. A detox is a good way to get rid of all those toxins and get rid of all the things that are kind of creating some of those issues. A lot of times people will have thyroid issues, adrenal issues, all these things, and it basically, a lot of it, not all of it, is a buildup of toxins, of things that you eat. That's why a lot of times some doctors will speak against very greasy foods or French fries and stuff like that. Now, I love that stuff, and I was just like not really trying to give it up. But now that I have, honestly, I feel a lot better. I mean, the taste, as you get rid of all that stuff out of your system and you start to eat more healthy, your tastes change. You don't want the same things that you wanted before. So therefore, it's not really that much of a struggle once you get over the fact, like, for example, if you like to eat meat all the time and your doctor's saying you don't need to eat meat all the time, or you're doing a detox, you're not eating meat, okay? The first thing is that in the mind, you have to stop thinking about it. Okay, if you see that burger, you just have to have some willpower. Say, you know what, I'm doing this. I'm going to be serious about it. And let's say you're going to do it for a week. You're going to say, I only have how many more days to go, and then I'll come and get this burger. Because that's what I had to do. But honestly, when I saw a change was when I stopped going back for that burger after I finished the detox, because it's almost like uh, defeating the purpose. But the whole point is to kind of get your mind in the frame of doing the right thing. So once you get your mind together and say, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be committed to it, you do it. And then when you see the difference and you feel the difference, you realize that it actually works. And then you want to, continue. And back in the day, in ancient times, they did all this stuff all the time. But, we've gotten away from that, especially with some of our diets, particularly the American diet, is not so healthy in comparison to the rest of the world. And a lot of times, some places become a little westernized and they want to eat a lot of the fast food places or whatever, and they're starting to have a lot of the same health issues. So we want to kind of get away from that and start from within and start hydrating ourselves with a lot of water. Water has a lot to do with how things kind of function in your body. I mean, we are at least, I believe, 90% water, if I'm not mistaken. And 70% of our immune system is in our intestines. And so water has to be prevalent in our body to push all that waste out. And when it's not, it becomes hard to do that. And that's when you also start to see a lot of different issues pop up with, health, because if your immune system is primarily in your gut, basically, and your gut is not being cleaned out the way that it needs to be, that means all that bacteria, all the stuff that's not good for you that's trying to get out is sitting there. And sometimes people do like colonics and stuff like that, and some people have 10 pounds of, and I know this is graphic, but like 10 pounds of waste and all this other stuff, and just think that that's just sitting there for however long it's been sitting there. And the body really can take on a lot, but once it actually gets to the point where it's like, okay, this is too much, that's when you start to see a lot of health issues. So through hydrating yourself and getting yourself cleaned out, when you do that, your body can absorb the nutrients that need to be absorbed. And the only reason why I'm doing this show is because I really want to help out a lot of people who are struggling and don't know why. Sometimes you try all these different things and then you're like, okay, that's not working. Something else is definitely wrong. I'm doing something wrong and I don't know what it is. But this is a good way to start clean and fresh and kind of just move forward in a good direction, whereas you get all this stuff cleaned out of your body, and then you can start to grow the hair long. You can start to have that pretty clear skin because you don't have all these toxins in your body. And again, like I was saying, your body can absorb the nutrients because it's not having to fight off all that stuff that's actually in your system, even down to your heart. You don't want to have all this plaque and stuff that's in your heart. I was fortunate enough to talk to one of the top heart surgeons in the country, and he shared with me that basically, he does heart surgeries all the time, and that the main reason why people are coming in is not necessarily genetic or hereditary, it's what they're eating. And he said, and it bothers him that when he goes in, he has to break the chest open. He has to literally open up the chest and go into the heart. And he said before he can even get to the heart, it's like a layer of fat. He said some people it's thicker than others. He said, but he has to literally go in with his hands and take the fat off. I mean, it's disgusting. But that's what changed me. When he told me that story, I was like, oh my God, that sounds awful, And I saw one of his heart patients, and he wasn't like, I guess morbidly obese or like, and I guess what I'm trying to get across is that he looked somewhat normal. That was the scary part. And he was one of the people that he had to take all that fat off of his heart. And the only reason why I know is because I heard him talking to him, and then also I heard his wife saying, I'm trying to get him to eat greens and eat vegetables, but he just won't do it. And I don't want him to be depressed and unhappy, but I want him to be around. So I'm trying to get him to eat better, and that's what the doctor is telling me that he needs to do. So, we can save ourselves a lot of stress by eating right and doing the right things. And I would be completely wrong if I sat up here and tried to sell you my product and not tell you that it does start from within. Nothing that you buy is going to fix everything. And it's only going to mask whatever is going on. So if you get something and it clears up your skin, great. But just know that if you're still having those eating habits and you're not exercising, you're not doing what you need to do, not even to be small or anything like that, but just to be healthy, then it would be wrong to do that. So you have to start with yourself first, and you have to start from within. You have to start drinking that water. I mean, it's a must. It's not really an option. If we sit back and we think, okay, how can I skimp around it? Because I know I did. I like my brownie